It's Michael Tidwell. Paul.
My last name is pronounced Sports.
And Michael B. Casey.
Blocktime.
All right, it's Blocktime. This is Michael Tidwell.
And this is Michael B. Casey.
And I have the honor of...
Where's Paul? Right there.
Well, I was going to say, and I have the honor of introducing Paul once again under a new team, the Honey Badgers.
Why doesn't Paul introduce himself?
Well, he's really a man that needs
He's a
no
co-host.
introduction. All right, Paul.
I think that it's important for me to get introduced because sometimes I have a little bit of trouble remembering which team I'm playing on.
Oh, is that it? Amnesia. Selective. It's all those head injuries. That's what it is.
I have a medical condition, and I prefer if people didn't make fun of me for not being able to remember my teamnesia. It's important that people know which team I'm on. And that's
it's always the
important
right
for the fans
team.
to know.
That's the big thing, right?
And I think that somehow it's easier for Michael Tidwell to remember the team.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I wonder why that is.
He knows more about the teams and the leagues than I think anyone, because he's the only one that has the official league spreadsheet for everyone in the entire world.
So, you got to tell me, though, Ultimate Frisbee, were you expecting that as the sport this week?
People call me up and they say, we need you to play for this team. And I said yes, and I was a different sport again.
All right, so let's go
That's
over.
my name.
Let's do our sports recap. Obviously the Amanda Dashbys are out of the playoffs. They lost to the Zcash Zoocox this week. I mean, what happened there, Paul?
That was terrible.
I mean, you actually the good part is you got traded.
No one really knows. It was zero knowledge proof. So the game just started, and then the people were playing, and then they just submitted proof that they had won the game at the end.
Well, you can't argue that. You can't argue with that logic.
Checked out.
The math
We really
checked
couldn't
out.
understand what plays they were even
So they
running
won.
at the time.
I mean,
It seemed like it was mostly like a fork of Bitcoin's plays, but just with a couple of new mysterious plays added in that somehow, and then that's.
And they were
just all it
very
took. They just
memory
scored like
intensive,
100
right?
touchdowns.
Very memory intensive plays.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul, I'm just
Yes,
happy that
yes.
the BCL rules are so lenient that you're able to be traded mid playoffs. So at least that's good. You're actually
Yes, it was mid game. Actually, I just got pulled right out of the game.
and you got put
Get
on
outta here,
right
you need to
onto
go.
the Honey Badgers, and you're able to beat out the Much Doge Very team. And you're actually going
I
to be
guess so.
you're going to be up against your rivals, the Zoocox, next week. So
Again,
yeah. You just can't get
But
away from them.
Hopefully, it will be a sport that has more knowledge, not zero knowledge, and we'll be able to use that to our advantage. But I'm not sure. They could easily pull any number of wild cards out of that, way up their sleeve, because no one really knows what they even do.
They're pretty snarky, man. Yeah.
They are.
Ooh, good. All right.
That's the worst thing about it.
Here's
Terrible
some other crazy news. The Ethereum Elephants lost to the Pepe Cash alt-right, and not just by a little bit. It was a large margin. The Pepe Cash alt-right is up 38% this week. Can you believe that?
Wow.
John Seth really screwed up, I
'cause-
think.
Well, there was a problem with the Ethereum. They had some plays that involved two of three people, and it turns out they just had a lot of fumbles with those, and
A couple of
they just let the enemy get the ball on those, and that's what made the difference between them and the Pepe Cash this last week. So they really need to improve on that, run some drills on that area.
Probably the least performant teams, or the least exciting teams, the Monero Mooners and Litecoin Reading Lights, kind of a snoozer this week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think they're just taking it easy. They're letting the other teams screw it up, and they'll be back though. They've got a lot of fight in them.
I don't know.
The Monero Mooners edged out the Litecoin Reading Lights. They're actually playing against the Pepe Cash alt-right. But it seems like the Pepe Cash alt-right is on fire. I don't know if the Monero Mooners even have a chance. We'll see. We'll have to wait till next week.
I think the Litecoin reading lights lost the SegWit home field advantage. I think
definitely. I mean, what's the purpose of the reading lights anymore? That
I don't know. I don't know, man. Without that SegWit home field advantage,
SegWit would make a big difference, but it didn't. I guess it just didn't make a difference. I mean, compared to the rings.
There we go.
Onion rings or whatever.
And there is your sports recap. If you want to help support Paul's sports team now on the Bitcoin Honey Badgers, please donate to the donation addressed in the description of this video or audio. Hey, speaking of audio,
all funds will go to an unknown purpose.
All funds will go to a mysterious purpose. So
no, but did you hear about? I can't remember if we talked about this last week or not. SoundCloud's going away.
Yeah. We didn't talk about
terrible.
it, but yeah,
dude, that
sucks.
Where
we just
are we
paid
gonna?
for it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like we got scammed.
Yeah, we totally got scammed.
Yeah. Where are we going to upload our?
I don't know.
I guess iTunes.
No.
It's going to be a pod. It's going to be an audio.
Well, I
only.
mean, if we're on Exotica, might as well just go straight to YouPorn. But
I mean, I don't know. It really makes you wonder how much it costs to host the data. I don't really know exactly what their expenses are. I'm guessing it's just data center costs.
Well, yeah, I guess
or,
their business model just was not working out for them because.
I mean, if you have all these like free sites like YouTube and stuff, and I mean, you don't have to pay for anything. Why did we pay for SoundCloud?
I don't know, because it was like the best thing. What other podcast ones are there? I mean,
I really don't know. The only reason I use SoundCloud is because everyone else was using.
Hey,
SoundCloud.
if anybody has any suggestions, hit the comments. Let us know.
Maybe we can get subsidized and do it like on like IPFS or something. Right?
Oh yeah,
for free,
something
free
like that.
free storage forever. I think.
So what are we talking about this week?
All right, let's look at the notes. We got a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff I was not able to research, and I was just busy with work this week. So hopefully, I want to be asking like a lot of stupid questions, and
obviously,
y'all can just help me.
The big news of the week, just yesterday, we got to lock in a BIP 91. Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was the cause for like the 20%
rally.
Yeah, the 20% jump in the one day.
Well, yeah, I mean, markets like certainty, right? And that's pretty certain, more certain than we've been for like years now, right?
I want to know really. Okay, so I wasn't really able to follow this because I looked at BIP 91 and I was wondering, okay, why is it BIP 91? We're just talking about BIP 148. Why are we going back? Is it like weird grouping? That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah,
about like the bit
schema.
grouping. And I actually tweeted Luke Dash Jr. like, how are you determining the whatever? And it's pretty much Luke Dash Jr. tries to group the BIP numbers close together that are related, but obviously, like if there's more than 10, then he just like picks like a random new like decimal or like base 10 for that.
There's only been because we're up to like 150 or whatever, or as far as total numbers, but there's only been like 40 to 50 bips or something.
Total. Paul, do you know what we're talking about? Did you look at the tweet I made?
No, the numbering is really weird. The numbering doesn't really make any sense.
Did you see?
It's arbitrary.
Did you see Mike in Space and Mike Casey's comments? They had some really witty, funny comments on there about BIP scaling.
No.
Well, I said, well, what they're going to do now? Because Mike in Space said, of course, do we have a plan to scale the BIP system? And of course, I responded that the only plan that we could possibly have is to make all of the BIP numbers X and segregate them into a different system where we will then determine
a new thing of a Merkle tree.
Of a Merkle, yeah. You should join in on that convo.
Yeah.
Combo.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah. That.
What does Mike in Space do when he is not crashing people's Twitter threads?
He's recording
nothing.
He's recording crazy stuff. Like what does he do?
I wonder if Mike in Space has a day job.
Oh, I'm sure he does. What if like what if we go to Canada and we like go to like some like Target or Walmart type place, and he's like checking us out in like the checkout aisle or like he like works at like a CVS.
Supposedly.
Again, shout out to Mike in Space for the new
on
intro.
the way back and forth to work. So apparently he has something that he has to go to.
Yeah.
Most likely he's a male stripper.
Congratulations on your appearance in the season finale, Michael Tidwell.
Oh, thank you. I was very honored. Mike in Space, if you're listening,
Bitcoin Car Talk.
I was very honored to be in the season finale with all the famous other people.
I must say, it's getting weird.
It's getting Eric Andre weird.
Yeah,
It's slowly getting to Eric
yes.
Andre level, which I think is kind of funny. I love it because I didn't really know who Eric Andre was until Mike in Space says this is my goal. Oops. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
But
anyway, the guy says, so yeah, no, the finale was like very weird. It was much weirder than I thought it would be. It was like, I was like, I knew this would be weird, but it just made no sense. Everyone was doing this stuff and it was just all the audio at once and it just made no sense at all. And then it just ended.
Yeah.
And then Sam somehow died.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised by that. I was hoping he would pull through. But no.
No, I mean when that scene, the scene where he drinks the liquid thermite was hilarious.
I like is that Mike in Space's voice? Who's doing like the British thing where he talks about it's liquid thermite? Is that him?
No, I'm pretty sure
whose voice is that?
No,
I always pictured Adam back. Actually,
is it like a Fiverr? It's definitely not his voice.
No, it's like a Fiverr thing or Fiverr.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
okay.
was it a Fiverr thing?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It did sound a little like Adam back then.
Well, whoever it was.
Well, because it had like a vaguely British accent.
Yeah.
There's one thing that annoyed me about that voice was he was like, I think that he did like a lot.
So, okay, at this point we've actually talked more about the video than the video was actually long. So we should probably move back to like BIP 91 and what's been going on there.
How did we tangent to Bitcoin Car Talk?
I just said congrats, but
well,
yeah.
Congratulations on your appearance.
Anyways,
BIP 91. I want to ask dumb questions for smart people. So,
yeah, you're gonna be out of luck there, buddy.
How is BIP 91 related to SegWit 2x?
So BIP 91 is a portion of SegWit 2x. James Hilliard, I believe, came up with it as a way to activate SegWit.
Back in May.
Yeah.
Of 2017. So
May of 2017. So SegWit, as if you'll all remember, BIP 141, which was the initial start-off BIP for SegWit. There are three. Was a threshold of 95% minor consensus by what was it? November,
you're talking about BIP 141?
BIP 141.
Yeah.
Right.
So BIP 141 was like the 95%. That Adam Back thought would be done by 2016.
Yeah, everybody thought it would be adopted very readily, and it was not. So, but I mean, if you have anything that even has a minor little bit of contention at all, 95% is just not going to happen. So, what they did for SegWit 2x is they put it down to what some believe is a more reasonable level, which is 80%. Because like even right now, SegWit 2x hasn't gotten close to 95%, and it probably never will, right? You know, unless it activates and starts orphaning stuff. But anyway, so it's sitting now, or it's over the 80% threshold, which means it has locked in per BIP 91.
I mean, is it pretty much BIP 141, but just a different percent?
Well, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it really has nothing to do with the 2 megabyte hard fork at all.
Not 91.
Okay. So people were signaling BIP 91. How does that in any way ensure that people will run SegWit 2x code?
So
or does it not? Maybe it doesn't.
It strictly all it does is they're flagging for it. So you could actually take any code you want and flag BIP1 and BIP4 with appropriately, and it would count as a vote toward activation.
Yeah.
I don't actually think there are many people doing that, but like Jihan actually, interestingly enough, he tweeted out that he was flagging BIP4 and not BIP1. Is what he said he was doing.
Why is that?
Just I guess protest vote or something.
What?
I don't know.
Tell me. BIP 1 and 4. Tell me.
So BIP 1 is 141.
Okay.
And BIP 4 is the 2 megabyte hard fork. And he said he's running the SegWit code but he specifically altered the code to change the flagging not to flag bit 1 for a bit, and I guess that was just as a fuck you.
But
But
but is that? I mean, is that because he doesn't want it to be activated? Like, well, I mean, it doesn't matter because we already hit 80% threshold
yeah,
without
well, I
Bitmain.
mean, yeah, exactly. Well, no. I mean, they switched it back and forth. I think he was just being a dick, you know. But,
Okay, so essentially, Bitmain helped get us over the 80% threshold
Well, I
with
mean,
BIP 91.
yeah, they were.
So the fact that Jihan Wu or the fact that Bitmain actually signaled for BIP 91, isn't that kind of like a shocker?
Not really. Not to me.
No?
I mean, we'll see. Hold on. So this goes back to the New York agreement, which they signed up for.
Right, it was
it
part
goes
of the
back,
agreement that they had to.
and
Yeah,
it goes
but-
back to the Hong Kong agreement.
Okay,
they've
but-
been in agreement of this for like the last year and a half.
But it didn't go into specifics on how they would signal for SegWit or implement it. Is that
well,
it was like
doesn't
open to
really
interpretation?
matter.
It did specifically say, I think it said bit 4 or something, but and it didn't really matter, but it said.
Yeah.
And I think that was a kerfuffle because one in mine, and they would have had to rewrite a bunch of stuff. So they switched it later.
So
Not
if,
to-
so if I
But
segue,
it's not really so. Sorry. I think the important thing to keep in mind is like what is the signaling for, and some people interpret it as a vote, and other people interpret it as like I haven't had time to upgrade my software yet, and other people interpret it different ways. It's like real threshold is 51% because if you want to activate new rules, you can, and then you can just reject all the blocks that don't follow those. So a miner has 51%. They can do whatever new rules they want, including just rules that just make all the blocks blank and have no transactions at all.
Yeah, well,
Or
in
weirdo stuff like that.
pure game theoretically, yeah, but I mean, especially if because you're not really talking about miners, you're talking about pool operators, and if a pool operator were to do that, then you would see shifting of the pools, and they would lose their 51%. But
You would.
know,
The pools
the
are
game
they
theory is a
are,
little more
agents.
complex, but yeah,
The pools work for the hash. Excuse me, the hashers. It's their job to make hashers are happy, so they are kind of proxies for.
but what
they-
you're
yeah,
what
they
you're
would be
saying
fired
is
if they don't.
technically correct. Yeah, 51% of the miners define Bitcoin. Yeah,
do UAS
So the hash
sectors
rate, if 51% of the hash
like
rate
that?
move its hash rate from one pool to another pool if they didn't like,
So
or if they wanted to do a certain thing.
So let me-
So if you've got 51% of the hash rate, you can do whatever you like as far as adding new rules is concerned.
yep.
Specifically,
Yeah, so it's a
and
soft
if you-
fork.
and so in this case, so this is the kind of a thing which was kind of like a little bit of a safer version of, because people were wondering like, what do we do with 141 because it's not happening, and so some people thought, okay, well let's lower it, and that's the origin of 91. And part of the New York agreement was something that was 91, close enough to 91 that it ended up becoming 91 in practice. And so the SegWit 2x thing is basically BIP 91 plus a promise or something. Well, it's basically a promise to activate SegWit via BIP 91 and a promise to hard fork in 6 months.
Which
So it's two promises.
it's actually 90 days is what they have in the code. So it's 6 months per the New York agreement, but I think it's 90 days in the SegWit 2x code. So if you go by that,
That's
of course,
I didn't know that. I don't know when the clock starts because the May agreement that was already like 2 months ago.
I think the clock actually. Well, I don't know about for the New York agreement, but the clock starts for the 90 days. I think once SegWit is activated, so not even locked in. I think it actually has
Okay, I
to be
didn't know that.
activated. Yeah, I think that's the case. I don't know. I'd have to double check.
So, and that's 90 days until it just flips the block size and block weight.
Right,
Multiplies those by 2.
and anybody running the SegWit 2x software as it is, if they don't stop running it, which you can signal for bit 1 and 4 without running that software, so they don't have to be running it right now. But if anybody who is running it accepts the hard fork, so there definitely will be a certain amount of hash power that will hard fork come that day.
So speaking in a strict game theory kind of sense, the bit signaling is what we would call cheap talk. It doesn't mean anything at all, except for one thing, which is that it does mean that you are aware that flipping the bit means something. So if people say, okay, we're going to flip bit number 3 to activate thing, check sequence verify or whatever, and you flip BIP3, then it shows that kind of means that you evidence that you know that something is happening with BIP3, because you could have done nothing. You would be fine. And that since it's that weak evidence that you know something's going on with bit number 3, it's also weak evidence that you have in fact prepared for check sequence verify and you've upgraded all your software and stuff. But other than that, it is easy to just.
It's
and
a game
I know
theory
for a fact
tool.
that miners run custom software anyway to like maximize their fee income, or whatever they are going to do, they will. They have all this extra custom stuff about, I don't think selfish mining, but like certainly like the SPY mining and the SPV mining, and they have been optimizing that, even if they haven't selfish mined.
What does that mean,
specifically.
SPY
So
mining?
they definitely run their own stuff.
Yeah, you want to go into that real quick, SPY mining?
Because I heard that term this week, actually, while I was reading some stuff.
SPY mining is very clever. So SPV mining, there's 2 levels. So like normally when this was first set up, miners had to download a block. They would say, okay, there's a new block, and they'd say, okay. So they'd get the block, and then they'd check it to make sure that it was correct, and then they'd start mining on top of it.
Right.
And that's how it normally worked. And there was really no kind of issues with that because it was brand new, and obviously everyone was worried about more important things. But as time went on, the miners got more and more specialized, and the difficulty rose, and so the margins are lower, and so people are just trying to earn more and more money out of their mining stuff, and there's a much higher load of transactions. The blocks are bigger, they take more time to process, they take more time to find out about them, it takes more time to validate them. And the time you spend validating the block is time that you can't really spend mining. You have to decide. So you say, I'm mining block number 13. Someone says they found block 14. And you're like, oh, okay, I don't know if they really have or not. And so you can check the header very quickly and say, oh, there's enough work on header number 14. But if you don't know, the block header for block 14 contains the hash Merkle root. Then you got to download all the transaction data that's in this block supposedly, and you got to make sure that each transaction is correct and that it's all in the Merkle tree in the right order and everything. And so you need to check all this stuff. And so while you're checking, you wouldn't be mining on top of block number 14. You wouldn't be trying to find block number 15. So what SPV mining does, it just says, well, you just check the header, or you just check almost nothing. And the header is always 80 bytes, and it's easy. All the work is done on the header, so you can check that the header is right. And who would do a huge amount of work on an invalid block anyway? Only a crazy person.
Yeah.
So
wasting money.
You take that, and then you use that. You don't know which transactions were included in that block, but you just start mining the next block anyway with blank,
right,
completely empty, and you don't let any transactions in because you can't accidentally let 2 in. You understand? Because then you would have double spent, and then your block would be invalid. So that's SPV mining, which you probably already know.
Can I ask a question about that?
No.
Before you go on?
Okay.
Can I ask a question about that before you go on?
Sorry,
SPY mining?
No, he didn't.
Yes,
He didn't get to SPY
SPV.
mining yet.
I said before you get to SPY mining, can I ask a question about SPV mining?
Yes.
So why? It seems like from the way you described it, we would have like every other block be empty.
Well, no.
Like that would be.
It only takes you.
That'd be more normal.
No.
That.
It only takes you. The thing is, it's a disadvantage of like whatever 6 or 8 or 9 seconds or something.
Okay.
So the first, and that is in fact what we do see. When we see blocks that are found quickly, one after
they're
another,
usually blank.
oftentimes, even though the mempool is very large,
okay,
the
that makes
second
sense.
block will be empty.
Okay,
Right. We actually do see that.
Right.
All right.
But it's much less with SPV mining than if they were trying to verify the entire block,
Okay.
because that would be like a minute.
Let's go to
versus
SPY
6
mining
seconds.
now.
Yeah. So please
Yeah.
go on.
And in fact, there is something else that I call the hipster mining as kind of a joke, because if you find 2 blocks, so you find one block and you can't, transactions are included. And so what was happening for a little while, or some people thought, that when 2 blocks are found very quickly after another, they're SPV mining the second block. They don't know which transactions to include, so they intentionally pick like some of the worst transactions around, because they're pretty confident that
They're
they
not
weren't
going
in
to
the
be
first
in the
block.
next one. Yeah.
But but they want to get some transaction fees. It's in the mempool, so they intentionally load them with the junk ones, and so they were kind of getting rid of those. So those are two things that are not
hipster blocks.
the answer to your question.
Those are hipster blocks.
That's
a good name.
Yeah, because they're picking up the cheap stuff.
They go for the 40%.
They're trying to
cool. They want the PBR transactions.
They go for the 30 percentile.
So now let's get to spy mining.
Neither of those things answer your question. So spy mining is you mining block 13. SPV mining is someone says they found block 14 and you want to validate it. You want to start mining without validating it completely. But spy mining asks the question, what if the person finds 14 and they just don't even tell it at all? Flaw in that plan. Because you'd prefer to SPV mine if you could. Maybe they won't even tell you. So what spy mining is you connect some of your hash rate
to the other pool.
Every pool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then when they they're screwed because either they play an endless cat and mouse game where they try to figure out who is where the hash power is coming from, which is almost impossible, really, and it's a huge amount of effort for no reason. So either they try to figure that out, which they really can't, and since they can't, then they have to decide: do they want all of their pool's hashing power on the next block, or not? So they have to choose yes or no, and then if they choose yes, then you have your computer watching carefully for when it flips over, and then you have it all yours flip over.
Oh wow,
yeah.
That's really
devious.
Interesting.
So I mean, I've never heard it termed spy mining before. That's a very good name for it. But yeah, it's hilarious because every pool is contributing to every other pool just so they can get information about what they're doing. Which is
it actually helps a lot with it actually helps solve numerous problems, even though it's super backhanded and
from a game theory perspective. I mean, it's really it makes perfect sense. I mean, what else are you going to do, right?
Right. If it's your problem, you're the miner. If it's your problem to get the next thing, you know what I mean? It's actually them working to make the block propagation as short as possible because they're saying I need to know what that next block is, so I'm going to rip it out of the data stream of my rival competitor.
It's competitive cooperation cool. is what it is. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I guess you can't. I mean, because Bitmain doesn't let public people hash in their pool. It's all just Bitmain, right?
I have no idea.
Bitfury, I think, is like that.
Okay.
Bitmain's not.
I mean, pretty much anyone with an open public pool can do that.
I don't know if Bitfury is an open pool, but I do know they don't sell their hardware. So I don't know if their pool's open, you can join to it, but they don't sell their hardware.
Obviously, any pool that's publicly open, you can do this too.
So they sell hardware, but only big hardware. They don't sell individual ASIC units. But yeah.
Wait, big hardware as in
they had a 20
quantity of
they had a $20 million thing that you could load on the back of a semi truck, and that was
one machine.
Yeah.
Did it have just a bunch of ASIC ant miners in it?
No, not actually. I'm talking about Bitfury.
I don't even think it fits on the semi truck.
No, it was a train.
Marine. It's the marine container that goes on a ship.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's the only thing that they sell. That's the smallest unit that Bitfury sells.
That's the only thing that they sell. Well, the thing is, they sell the individual chips,
$20 million.
You got to plug them into a big thing. Yeah. It costs a huge. It costs I don't know. Do you know how much it costs? I think it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I thought it was $20 million for the big one.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it was it was some outrageous amount. Yeah, a couple people were looking at it. I think Tony Galippi was like, "Oh, I don't know."
No, you know that one guy who has 100 something ant miners. I could see him trying to buy one.
Yeah, well, for $200 million or $20 million, I don't know. There's not many people that can afford that. Who I'll bet you could afford that is John McAfee.
I don't know, man.
So
speaking of John
he's starting
McAfee,
up a pool, isn't he?
in Alaska, right?
In Alaska, yeah. So yeah, there was a quote this week.
He really doesn't have any idea what he's doing.
No, I mean, my favorite comment on his tweet, just for the people who don't know, he tweeted out that in 3 years from now, Bitcoin will be $500,000, and people start questioning him. And he says, "If I'm wrong, I'll eat my own dick on national television." And I love this. One of the first comments afterwards says, "John, I doubt it, but just in case, I suggest mustard. Or I recommend mustard."
God.
I recommend mustard with it or something.
Did you see someone bet him?
Yeah, no.
Someone made a totally ridiculous bet?
It was 10-1 odds or something with $50,000 minimum.
Yeah.
I don't know how real that is.
10-1 odds. And no, did you see? Someone someone looped me in, and I did the math. So it's something like let me try. I don't want to screw it up. So I remember it's 250,000. It was okay. So I think it's 10,000 maximum, and then it was
50K
50K
minimum.
I can't hear you.
50K minimum. 50K minimum.
Yeah.
And then 10 to 1 odds. And then I was thinking 10 to 1 odds in the person's favor, not McAfee's favor. I was like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, in McAfee's favor. So maybe we should just look it up so we don't confuse anyone. But
if it's in McAfee's favor, that's kind of like getting in like 3 years. If you put in $50,000 and get $5,000 back on your 50K, you're averaging 10%, like 3.33% per year. That's actually not that good. Now that I think about it, because you would only get if you're doing 10 to 1 odds.
No, because
honestly, I don't think there's ever going to be a bet. Like,
I don't think so either. But,
that's not going to happen here.
But I was thinking, Paul, that it was 10 to 1 odds in the other person's favor. So like, if you put up 50K, I'll give you $500,000 in 3 years. I don't know.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay, that is what it was. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine because like that was a pretty strong vote of confidence he gave there.
No,
I mean it's not often one threatens to eat their own dick. But it's like,
that's how you know someone's either crazy confident, and
just
crazy.
No,
but he also said he puts his money on Ji-Han Woo. He's smart, and that's where the money's at. He also said that. Which, I mean, it's funny. I feel like the only reason I care about John McAfee is because we met him in TNABC.
Yeah,
and he got interviewed by BU.
But well, I mean, he gave the keynote speech there. It was mostly about Thai lady boys, but he slipped some Bitcoin stuff in there. It was pretty cool. A lot of it was like crazy Russian hacker shit, like do not keep your shit on your mobile phones.
I think the coolest thing about his keynote was, hey, I've downloaded every malware. You know those things that you're not supposed to touch when you watch porn? I always click them, and now my Bitcoin are gone. So like,
yeah,
I thought,
that's what he does.
Yeah, I thought that was like, oh, that's actually interesting because no one's really doing that. No one's purposely trying to get hacked.
No, that's what security research is, right? That's what all of the malware companies are doing. They attempt to get infected. All the antivirus.
Yeah.
Usually in a controlled manner.
I don't know why.
I remember some TED Talks, but what's up? What's the bet?
I'm going to open it again so we can look. Okay, here's the thing.
Is this on a website or Twitter?
John McAfee bets 100,000, and he won't bet more than 5,000. And Ari Paul, last name Paul, no relation. He says he'll give John McAfee 10 to 1 odds. So McAfee is saying that he'll bet up to 500,000, and so this guy puts up $5 million of his own money. And so then I did this math over here.
Why the fuck would he give him odds?
No, but here's the best part. You're hedging against your bets. If Bitcoin actually goes to 500,000.
Well, then what's the bet in? Bitcoin or dollars?
Yeah, it's in dollars. So let me explain to you exactly what it is. So what Ari does is he bets $5 million against John McAfee's 500,000. So you see that's 10 to 1 odds. 5 million against 500,000. Yeah. And then he takes, not only does he have 500 million in this bet, 5 million. Not only does Ari has 5 million in the bet, he also takes 250,000 and he just purchases Bitcoin with it straight up.
Yeah. So he hedges his loss.
Yeah. I mean,
now if he loses the bet, then he owes McAfee 500,000.
Yep.
Wait, no, I don't want to screw it up. So
no. He owes him 5 million.
5 million.
He owes him 5 million.
Yeah. So let me explain. I screwed it up. I'm sorry. I did this explicitly so I wouldn't screw it up. So if the price of Bitcoin is zero, 250,000, because he lost the 250,000 that he spent on Bitcoin, and he gets from McAfee 500,000.
So he
500
still
minus 250
gains.
is 250,000.
Yep.
That's if the price of Bitcoin goes to zero. Now, as you were saying, Michael BIP, the only conditions under which he loses the bet, John McAfee, are when the price is really, really high, and specifically, it's so high when 62.5 million
right.
is
in which case,
worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah, he's going to make out like a bandit.
So after he pays John fee, he's still up 57.5 million.
Yeah.
So he either makes 250,000, and then he makes slightly more as the Bitcoin price goes up, and then it's in a straight line from there. He makes it goes down by 5 million. As soon as it hits this, whatever the price was.
Well, whilst offering
100,000.
10-1 odds. I mean, that begs the question that if John McAfee were serious about it, I mean, why would he bet anything? He should be throwing every penny he has into Bitcoin and not betting.
Correct. That's exactly the point. So that's exactly correct. And I think they actually did the bet. So that's some finance 101 for you guys.
They actually
Don't
made the
buy
bet.
your Bitcoin through some weird intermediary for no reason.
So they made the bet.
From what I saw on Twitter, they actually did make. Let me check. Right, unless it's been deleted. And even John McAfee says
It's a smart bet.
he says that he'll have the lawyer draft the docs, and he says you are certainly right, and I'm a fool, but send the docs. So I guess they're going to do it.
No, but
he's a fool. I mean,
here's a
so John has a point to prove. He wants to prove he's right, at least he wants to be seen as, oh my god, that guy called it.
But
all he's proving is that he knows nothing about elementary finance.
Hold on, Paul. What can John McAfee do to hedge his bets?
Well, here's the thing, John. I don't think cares.
No. What can John do to hedge his bets?
No, let me explain to you. The portfolios are the same. Whether he buys Bitcoin or whether he engages in this bet, it's the same portfolio. The problem is when he buys the bet, he's just way overpaying for it. Yeah. The exact same portfolio of exposure. So there's nothing he can do except find some sucker who will, which he won't. I mean, I don't know what he could even do. Like it's no different as if we could do the math and we could decide. It would be no different than John McAfee going to an exchange and putting in a market buy order for $90,000
so hold on,
Bitcoin, and then having it immediately filled, and then immediately losing like $90,000.
I would argue that that's not entirely the case because you're not factoring in the totality of the cost here of the transaction. So think about the non-monetary, non-bet thing. So how much publicity did he just buy? By making that prediction.
You're right. That is true.
How could he get? Could he get that exposure for that amount of money? I mean, like seriously, because he put a floor on it, so it's like he's paying millions of dollars.
He lost.
He's only losing.
He definitely lost at least $250,000. So you have to decide if that's a good way to spend $250,000 on that.
Well, yeah, it depends. If he's right, I don't know. It might be worth it to be that prognosticator because nobody's ever going to doubt him ever again.
Well, hold on. But also,
an even smarter way to do that, though, would be to be both people, right? He makes a fake account, Ari Paul.
How do you know he didn't? How do you know he didn't? How do you know he is not Ari Paul? Yep. Sybil attack.
Or that they have some deal.
Twitter Sybil attack.
Possible.
No, but
the social media attention whoring, it throws a big wrench into a lot of.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the Twitter Sybil attack is real.
All right, so here's an interesting thought from the dumbest person here. Depending on how it gets drafted up, if he somehow pulls together $16 million per se, like with some investors, he could buy out the entire book of an exchange.
Yeah.
No, but depending on how it's drafted up,
that's true.
So depending on how it's drafted
drive it up as
if it's like
a flash spike.
Yeah, he could flash spike it to 500,000 by buying the entire order book
and then sell it all back.
It's
a pump and dump.
It's a super pump.
A super pump it up.
It's a super pump for $5 million. Get the $5 million.
That's true.
And then you have return on investment.
Well, yeah, and also what are the terms of it? Which exchange are they going by? What index?
It'd be funny if it's like based on coin market cap.
Yeah. See, well, this is funny.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to have to do something about like 2-week average or something.
Well, this is they'd almost have to for it to be legitimate. But this poses a problem with oracles for smart contracts and any type of thing because you have to draft all the rules out in advance and you have to be very meticulous. And even then, you could totally screw something up, some external factor that you've never accounted for. Yeah.
Hey, you know what we're supposed to do for like 3 weeks in a row now?
No.
We're supposed to call the Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Paul, do you want to call? There's this guy in Atlanta that puts up these signs that say, "Talk to me about Bitcoin."
Yeah, like on the side of the highway.
Like on the side of the highway.
Like on billboards?
No, they're not on billboards. They're like little let me buy your house. We buy houses now
Or
type of.
there's a couple of them. There's a couple of them.
Election.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's funny. What is it? Just says Bitcoin with a question mark? That's all it says, and his phone number.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Do you want to call him?
Let's do it.
All right. And the better question is, should we all talk or just me?
No, just you. I'm about.
So I want to talk to him. You, Paul, if you want to help me out, you just write to me.
Just ask him about something vague, like just ask him about what he thinks about SegWit or like Schnorr signature aggregation or something funny like that.
Yeah.
Ask him something like that.
Wait, hold on.
Or just ask him if it's going to the moon.
Oh yeah, I'll totally.
Does he Andreas Antonopoulos? Is he an Andreas Antonopoulos fan or a Andrew Polstra fan? Andreas or Andrew?
Dollars to donuts. It's Paxful.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me call him on. Let me see if I can do this seamlessly.
I thought you were calling him.
I am.
Oh, you're putting it into the show.
Yeah, I mean everyone's gonna be able to hear it.
He's casting a wizardry spell. He's putting it into the show. Love how like in the past, if there was like an entire like union crew to like just film anything,
true. For technology.
And now it's just like one guy can just like do every possible thing, including host the show.
I'm very talented. All right, so don't fucking say anything, Paul.
About to find out how talented you are after this call.
Paul, mute yourself, man.
Paul,
let's do this straight. Hold on.
Am I muting myself?
Paul, shut the fuck up.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone. Google Voice will try to connect you.
Michael Tidwell.
Watch it be someone we know.
Hey, Michael. How you doing tonight?
Hey, good. I saw your sign. It said Bitcoin support and training. I was wondering what. I was just kind of getting a feel for like what you're doing. Would you be able to talk for a little bit?
So, yeah, by all means, Michael. So my name is Rich Porter. Michael, what had you call the ad? I understand that it's Bitcoin, but are you a miner? Are you a trader? Are you an investor? Are you just curious?
I'm really just curious. What kind of services are you providing? I've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin.
Got it.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by your sign.
Let me tell you a little bit. Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what we're up to. I have a meetup every week now. And I got about 250 people on my meetup site, and about 30, 40 people come every week. And we're learning how to make money with cryptocurrency. There's 800 coins now. Bitcoin was the forerunner, the blazer, that allowed us to 900. I just heard my partner tell me. There's 900 coins now. So if you would have gotten started 8 years ago with Bitcoin, just $1,000 at 10 cents a coin would have given you 10,000 coins. Today, you'd be $22 million plus richer.
Oh, wow.
So take that example and put it on the marketplace today with 900 coins out there. One that's going to be longevity, problems, and investing in that today and potentially participating with it, huge difference on people's financial futures. Does this make sense?
Yeah, and yeah.
Support and training is that you come on Wednesday night, or we meet and we discuss it. But the idea is to help you make money in cryptocurrency. I'm helping the community do that. What I'll do is I'll text you a couple links. One will be for the meetup, and the other will be I just got an app 2 weeks ago with one of the coins. I bought it 3 months ago at 3.5 cents. It's up to 25 cents now.
Wow!
So I turned 10,000 into 130,000.
Whoa! What coin was that?
That's happening. That's Pro Currency. Their white paper describes The white paper is when they go public. It's like a initial public offering. When coins go public, an initial coin offering, they have a white paper. Their white paper describes that their objective is to bring the masses, consumers and merchants, using cryptocurrency in their everyday lives. And the systems that they have in place today are going to rock this planet, meaning last two weeks ago, I got an app where I can send a customer to go shopping at 4,500 retailers, Macy's, Best Buy, Walmart, Priceline, all these, and get cryptocurrency rewards. In 90 days, I'll have an app where merchants can start using cryptocurrency for their online business.
Wow.
Today.
So how did you get into this space? I'm just curious.
How did I get into this space?
Yeah. Like what got you involved?
Last November, I've been a frustrated real estate investor because I don't like scarcity, competition, and greed so much. I like abundance, education, and cooperation. This, when I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. My late wife and I, we had all our money embezzled by Bernie Madoff, and she passed away with a massive heart attack. When that happened, I started trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I was in real estate, and it's been a downhill. The last 6 years, it's been downhill. When I saw this, her and I knew banks were not the answer to our problem. In fact, they were detrimental. The Federal Reserve is not public. It's not federal. It's private. It's a private company, and they're profit oriented. But I'm not going to go into that. What matters is that I saw that this cryptocurrency is an equalizer. There's literally 25 million people in Kenya, Africa, using their phones to do banking without banks.
Oh, wow.
And they are prospering. They are prospering, and they've been doing it for 10 years. The media here is owned by the Federal Reserve, and so that's why 94% of the planet doesn't even know what's happening, because the Federal Reserve doesn't want that competition.
Oh, okay.
It's going to actually be a benefit to me because it's giving me enough time to get myself in a position where I got enough invested in stuff that when the tide does come in, all ships will rise.
Do you think a lot of the people into cryptocurrency would consider themselves libertarians?
Don't know what that means, and really I just know that I empower people. I'm a Sunday school teacher, 20 years, kindergarten and first, storytelling and puppeteering, what I've been trained in. I'm committed to empowering people to have a life they love and a powerful life. That's all. I don't think anything else.
So I've been looking at some of these other ones. What do you think about stuff like Monero?
I like Monero, but I don't know much about it because I'm going to stay focused. In the next 30 to 60 days, I'm going to be launching my business online. And when that happens, I'll probably have 1,000 people coming in a month.
So what's the name of your...
Because the people are hungry.
What's the name of your meetup group?
You're hungry. That's a good sign. I'm gonna send you a link with all that information. After you get done watching some of the videos and and get the information about the meetup, if you like what you see, text me back your email and I'll send you some more information over the email. The Flat Shoals Library is where we're holding the meeting every Wednesday, 6 to 8.
Hey, Rick.
And this week we're talking advanced topics, ICOs and portfolios. We are not financial advisors, accountants. So if you make any decisions, you may need to make those on your own.
Question. Are you on meetup.com?
Yes, I am. Atlanta Bitcoin.
Atlanta Bitcoin.
My name's Rich Porter. Yeah, I'll be sending that to you. I'll be sending you a link over the... let me send that link to you. What's your name is?
Michael Tidwell. So, question.
Okay.
Atlanta. So that's not Bitcoin Atlanta. You said Atlanta Bitcoin? Because there's a guy named Rich Clark who runs Bitcoin Atlanta. I'm on meetup.com right now. I'm trying to find it. Is it?
I'll text you the link, and then you can take a look at the video. And if you like what you see, just text me back your email, and I'll send you more stuff. Okay? Because I'm just about ready to sit down and eat dinner.
Sure. I was just trying to figure out because I use Meetup sometimes. I was just I'm not able to find your group, and you have like 200 people coming out to your meetups. That sounds really exciting.
Okay, let me go online and make sure that I'm giving you the right information.
Cool.
Normally, I just send the link. Hold on. Okay.
Are you based? You said the Flat Shoals. Is that in Atlanta?
Not now. Atlanta, Bitcoin and other digital currency support and training.
Oh, this is bizarre. I've never.
That's what it's called.
I've never heard of your
dash Bitcoin.
Okay.
My logo is Digital Currency Millionaire Education.
Okay, so meetup.com/dash.
No, meetup.com/Atlanta-Bitcoin-Pro-Digital-Currency-Support-Training. Coin Pro
Got it.
Digital Currency Support and Training.
Okay.
Wow, I'm already up to 250 people. We have about 30, 40 people coming every week.
Oh, I thought you said your meetups were like
And
200 some people. Oh. Okay.
I have 250 people, members.
Have you ever been to that one
My
meetup
meetup
group
is,
called the Atlanta Blockchain?
yes, it's awesome. Highly recommend it, especially if you like tech. I used to be an analyst, so I know about stuff like that.
Cool. Well, hey,
I think it's a great group of people.
well, hey, thank you so much for your time. You can send me over the stuff. Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You too now. That was.
Is he gone? Is he gone? Paul.
What?
But that
Yes.
was very awkward.
That was very weird.
Like I thought at first he was a scammer, and then he's just like really confused. I think he's just a really confused person who's been through struggles.
Yeah, he's been through.
Like
You
that
weren't doing
wasn't
very good. I mean,
that-
you were being way too nice.
no. Like I thought he was a scammer. That's
he
why.
still might be, but
You should have been like,
I mean,
you should have been like, yeah, I wanna send you my money right now. How do I get in on this? I want to make some money.
no, Paul.
You should have been like,
No.
send
The
money.
way I was reading that conversation, he was being sincere about just trying to get people rich. Like, which is kind of awkward because I really thought he was a scammer and he was going to start talking about OneCoin or something.
no, I mean, yeah, he didn't go the
No,
one
like-
coin
He
route.
almost did.
He's talking
he-
about ICOs
No,
and
he
crap,
he
which a lot of
he-
people think that
he's
there's
like your typical person who's like fed in to like the get rich quick, and he's just trying to help people pump.
Yeah, he's a pumper.
I don't think he was like, he's not this type of scammer I thought he was going to be, like where he was going to start saying like, give me your money and stuff. And that was very awkward because at first he was like, yeah, we have like 200 people coming out to the group. I'm pretty. Isn't that what he said?
No. I mean, because I read it, the way that he said it is he's got 200 members. Like, you know,
Okay.
our group has like
But
2,000 members or whatever, but we only ever get 100 people that ever show up for anything.
Oh, no, like I was like
Yeah,
thinking,
but-
how do I
But
not know about this?
He
group?
said they had 250, but he said that like 40 or 50 of them come to a meetup.
Yeah, that probably
He said
not.
that. You were just really excited.
No, I
missed it when he said the
really
second part.
really thought he said we had like 200 people come out to the Flat Shoals
No,
library or
he
something.
did. He said he had 250 members, and he said about like 40 or 50 of them come.
Well, no, that was later. He said that. I don't know. I
mean,
have to listen
No,
to
it
it.
was really,
I'm-
it
But
was really
the
same
other
sentence.
part, we can't. I couldn't really hate on him after he said like, "Oh, the tab group is good." I'm like, "Oh,
Well,
fuck."
I mean, I'm kind of curious why he's never come up to us and approached us and be like, "Hey, I want to do this thing," you know?
No, dude. At first, I thought he was literally saying like, "I run like a huge meetup group, like of 200 people coming out," and then I thought he was trying to I thought he was trying to spoof Rich from Bitcoin Atlanta
Nah, yeah, this is a different thing. We couldn't find his page though, but he said he texted you.
or Atlanta Bitcoin.
Does that thing receive
No,
text?
Dude, I really hope
come
not.
on, I found it on Google in like 1 second.
Oh, so you found it. Tidwell couldn't find it, right?
I just Googled his phrase.
Ah.
All right. Anyways, that was
Oh,
On
yeah.
Google search my first.
Oh, okay, caps. That's why. Learn to build a portfolio of $100.
Oh, man, dude, this is the most
too
scammy-
bad.
here, I
That is
gotta-
very scammy.
I gotta show the
really
audience.
scammy.
I want to show the audience.
See,
like,
that's
what-
why I was confused. I was like, I don't understand what he's doing here. What I didn't understand what you were doing. And then you told him to have a nice day, just giving away that you're like making fun of him.
No, that's not
You
true.
can't be nice.
No,
You're
like,
trying.
dude, I wanted
Nice people
to
are the-
talk to a scammer and I wasn't getting it.
Dude, I
Paul.
don't. Yeah, okay.
He
So,
kind of was though.
I mean, he's no more
I mean,
than a
that's-
scammer than anyone else, though.
well,
I thought he was an
no,
extra scammer.
Well, so he's not. No, he's not like a blatant. The question is, what's his angle? Does he have?
I thought he had an angle pushing one coin.
No.
or
I mean,
something.
his angle is very clear. I mean, it's terrible that his. I don't even know. We don't even know if that's true, but it's terrible that his wife died. But he's been fed all this stuff about the Fed and et cetera,
Well-
getting like everything being like that's the explanation for his poor real estate career is that this conspiracy of bankers to like screw up his
Well, so here's the
industry
thing I
and-
found
So
interesting.
for the
Remember,
people
he said he has
watching-
an app coming out, and that's where I think the rub is. If he has his app coming out that you can invest in coins in,
There's
yeah, he said
for
in 90
everyone
days.
watching.
In 90 days.
90
And I
days.
was like,
yeah,
Yeah, look at that's the
I'd love to
most
see that.
that's the most scammy logo I've ever seen in my life.
it's a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire logo.
I know, isn't that funny?
It's
Yeah.
from.
It can even be like copyright, like
Yeah, it is. It's
trademark.
totally a copy trademark violation.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very disappointed in myself for not making that better. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a bit.
No, it was good.
We need it. We need like like Chris or Junseth would
No,
have
we're
been
too
much
nice.
more
No, no one
entertaining.
can,
Way
they did it
too
really
nice.
well. They're
They-
so
I
good
mean-
at it. They were the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my first
so
go.
good.
I'm not a virgin anymore. I'll be better next time. I promise everybody.
Well, I mean, it's not over yet. We could see what if
We could just call him every day, every week.
No, we could get
See
some
how his app's
information
doing.
and see how deep the rabbit hole goes on this thing. Like, because
You should definitely go to a meetup now.
Oh yeah, we have to show up to a meetup now.
The viewers want to know.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well,
You got to show it, and you have to like get audio or something.
let's
Like
see.
talking heads, like on The Office, like do
The
like a
worst
talking head
thing
in the
is,
hallway. Just be like, yeah,
he'll
we're at the
never
meetup.
see
It's
this.
cool.
So
God, I hope not. That would be awkward. I mean, but I wanted to make it kind of funny, and like I didn't really want to make fun of him, but just kind of explore what he was doing. But I really thought, based on like how he was talking at the very beginning and how he was like building it up, he was going to be like, and I have this great opportunity, because that's how OneCoin was. It was just like OneCoin. They would talk about Bitcoin, and then they would throw you at OneCoin.
well, that's exactly what he was doing. Only it was alts, and I guarantee you that's the thing is, and that's what I was trying to whisper in your ear was ICO. Is he's probably going to have his own ICO that he's going to pump, and then that's what he's going to be pushing. But
Millionaire ICO training
Yeah.
pro Atlanta coin. See, that's the
No,
problem
no,
with
it'll be-
these. The
it'll be
altcoins,
totally
the altcoins
unrelated.
have a built-in.
it'll be totally unrelated to him, but it'll look like a really good investment. Yeah.
Yeah.
These ICOs and all this tokenization. As the three of us know, one of the dirty secrets of many, in addition to being run by totally credulous, ridiculous people, is that they have a built-in like MLM scam inside of all of them. So no matter what you do, you can't escape the MLM marketing scam if you do this token thing.
Bitcoin is always it's a bit of a pyramid scheme. Anything that increases in value is like the stock market. Same deal is like if you buy a stock, you instantly become a rep for that stock, or whatever.
You know what?
Well,
I felt
all
like,
collectibles do.
Yeah, exactly. Anything
Like,
you
there's a
buy
difference between something that
speculatively.
pays, something that stocks and bonds are like derivatives,
That's
like any
true.
other derivative.
Yeah. Because they
and
actually
they channel payments to you.
Mhm.
So
it's an
they're
investment
like
as
promises
opposed
to
to
pay you
speculation.
portraits of dead presidents or something, and so they have some derivative value in that sense. But collectibles are, I agree. All collectibles are kind of like circular. There's a little bit of circular logic. It's like why you should collect them.
Right.
Like why should you anything, including Beanie Babies and as well as $20 bills. There's kind of like there's just like a circularity to it that is very interesting.
I was were you all surprised that he didn't know what libertarian was when he was bashing
Yeah,
the
that was
Fed?
weird. Yeah, I mean, because he was
Well, I
bashing
think he
the
just
Fed.
didn't want to be put in a box.
Yeah.
Agree.
Maybe
You
you're
know what
right.
I mean? Like people don't like to be labeled. It's like a stigma.
Well, no, but I mean,
I wasn't really labeling him though.
He didn't say, "Oh, I'm not really of that persuasion." He's like, "I don't know what that is." That's
Well,
what
no,
he
I
said.
also
Well, I
asked.
think-
I also asked, do you think a lot of people into cryptocurrency are libertarians? Not like,
Oh,
are
that's
you a
true.
libertarian?
Well, see,
Yeah.
that's why I think you threw him off. I think he doesn't really know a lot about like other. He might not really know. I mean, that's why I thought It would have been funny if you asked him about like side chains or like SegWit or something.
Yeah. Well, no, he did
Get deep into.
No, I mean, I asked him, hey, what do you think about Monero? He said, I haven't, like, he knew nothing about it. I mean, he's not a technical guy. And then when he started saying also, like, oh, the Atlanta blockchain group, that's a technical group. I was like,
he's a very
dude, I can't.
This is the least technical thing that we do.
And then he was like, those are great guys. I was like, dude, I can't.
Wait, so the name of the thing that you guys do is the Atlanta Blockchain Group?
Yeah.
It's not the Atlanta Bitcoin Group?
No.
We run the Atlanta
blockchain?
blockchain. Yeah, we run the biggest blockchain group in Atlanta, which is primarily focused on like.
So there's
Bitcoin
another
type
group
stuff,
called
so.
Bitcoin Atlanta, and I was
And a guy named Rich runs it.
yeah, the guy named Rich.
I thought he was literally a
Different
scammer.
guy.
I was like, I was going to set him up for like the biggest gotcha moment because I thought he was literally saying like, "This is my group. It's the biggest group, even though
the
it's
real
not."
Rich.
Yeah, we know Rich who
not
runs.
we've known him for years.
Yeah,
But-
and I literally thought he was saying like, "I'm this guy," and I was like, "Oh, we got him." So I was like, "Damn it."
See, that'd be too easy to. I mean, that's a weird scam to pull, right? Because it's only a matter of time, a matter of a very short amount of time before.
So for me, jury's still out, but that's definitely that website's very scammy. Very scammy.
Let's see.
Anybody who promises, this is my whole deal with this stuff. Anybody who promises you're going to get rich if you buy into any of this shit is completely full of
John
shit.
McAfee did that, or else he'll eat his own dick.
Yeah, but he's not promising people. He's just promising
dude,
people
no, he
that he'll eat his own
promised.
dick.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a promise.
I mean, that's a lot of. I mean, you get satisfaction through being rich or watching him do.
Well,
that.
yeah, but I mean, that's a total pump move. I mean, that's the whole thing.
It's a total pump. That's an understatement.
Right. Well, so like anybody who's serious
Unintended.
about it will tell you, no, it's risky. It's
all
risky.
right. I want to say something. I really feel like I should have said my name was Paul Sports, and I was here for an ultimate frisbee tournament. I was really upset about that. I should have just went with it. Not said I was with the Bitcoin Honey Badgers,
You
just
said
like
like a
said
fake
I'm
name.
Paul Sports.
Oh,
You could have said you were like Joshua Unseth or something. You could have done that.
No,
Andreas.
The
My name's
decentralized.
Andreas
No,
Antonov.
because no, he would know who that was.
Let's see.
No, the decentralized
Hal
identity
Finney.
program.
No, Hal Finney. Yeah, this is Hal Finney.
Oh God, back from the dead, huh?
Well, that
He
would be
wouldn't
funny.
know. He
I thought
wouldn't
about
know.
doing that. You could try and trip him up on like Bitcoin trivia and see if
Yeah.
he did like what he does. He probably didn't know anything.
Well, remember, I don't
Well,
think
he was
knows.
in since November.
Here's the thing: is he doesn't
of
know
last year.
anything about Bitcoin. I
Yeah.
guarantee you. Even though he puts Bitcoin on the sign, that's just to get people to call. He knows nothing about Bitcoin.
He probably knows
But-
it from a user perspective.
Well, probably. Yeah, he's probably downloaded a wallet, sent transactions, but I mean, he's not. Again, he would describe anything that you or I talk about as technical. So he
Yeah,
doesn't,
and the funny part is we don't really consider ourselves technical,
not
but
super
like everyone
technical,
else
but- except for-
isn't technical.
except for
by-
maybe Paul, but
No, but think about all the other podcasts like Mad Bitcoins and stuff.
oh, they're not
and, like-
technical. Yeah,
Like
No.
what's that? Adam Meister. And
I would
it's
say the
like
most technical of all the people on all that is
Epicenter.
oh no,
Or
Epicenter's stupid technical.
crypto network.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm saying of the ones that you named would be Jimmy Song. I mean, he's
Oh, yeah.
not super technical, but
he
he
knows what he's
technical.
talking
He
about.
knows what he's talking about. He goes in deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's keep going.
Yeah, where are the what happened? Oh, there they are. The notes.
So I was supposed to. You know what I want to do for next week is make an ICO live.
You're gonna make an ICO.
Live.
Well, okay. Now, as with everything else, the only thing that really matters is the name. So, what's the name of the ICO?
Well, I know. I was going to make an ERC20 token and just name it. Blocktime.
We have to come up with
coin?
a good name.
Blocktime coin.
Well, what about like the crypto league coin or some bullshit? I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no plans of ICOing Paul. I have no intention of making money off the backs of the hard sport athletes of the BCL. Okay, I have no intention.
Make the game
I mean, I know they're not getting paid. It's like college sports. It's kind of messed up that the colleges make millions of dollars and the athletes don't make anything. Mike, that would be messed up if we made money off of that.
So you need a white paper, right?
So essentially, it means I'm doing an ICO.
You need two things for an ICO. You need for an
good
ICO.
name.
You need a name and an ERC20. So you just change a couple
white
variables in the
a white-
standard ERC20 contract. And that takes a couple minutes. and you need a white paper.
White Pepe.
Yeah. So that's what you have to have, and apparently, if you do that, somebody will give you several $1 million. So
I mean, I think I've added the most utility. I'm actually committed a resource myself into going through this on my podcast and showing everyone the brackets and stuff. So I mean,
are we doing a Blocktime coin? Is that what it is?
All right. Anyways, let's talk about the ETH hack multi-sig stuff. We did talk about during the sports flash.
Speaking of ICOs, holy crap! So like a bunch of them had their funds locked up in multi-sig wallets, and that did not end up well.
But they were talking about like anything before or at version 1.5 or something of some kind of software. I really don't know.
I don't know. I didn't read up as much about it. Paul, you may know the most about.
Did you hear the specifics?
Well, I don't think the specifics really matter. I mean, what matters is that Ethereum is like, it's like starting over with a fresh sheet of paper, which means that they're going to have to learn every single lesson the hard way, whatever the lesson is. And so it's not really relevant. It's just like, don't do that, just it already exists. Like Bitcoin was the smart thing to do. But instead, of course, they wanted to turn it into a big project, and so that's what they have now. Now they have to go down the line. They have to relearn every single thing that's ever been learned for science. So good luck with that.
That was Cletus's complaint too. He's like, why did they rewrite everything? It makes no sense. Yeah.
Does not. Well, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, like on day one. You know what I mean? It's like as if you decided to build your own house, and you're like, I can make this house however I want. I could put the garage in the middle or something, and you could do whatever you want. And it's not until like later, it's not until like the winter or until like it rains a lot, or that you figure out like why it is that humans did it some other way. Oh, this is how all the rats get in, or something. Like whatever it is. Oh, a tree fell on my house. It's like you wonder, like, why are all the houses built like this? And you're just like, if I built my own, I could do whatever I wanted. And it's like,
yeah, that's a good analogy. But what it reminds me of in the corporate IT world is like mainframe systems. So like, it's like everybody's always like, oh, let's rebuild it in Oracle, and we can do so much cool stuff. And then they get like halfway through it, and they're like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Let's just go back to the mainframe.
Yeah.
So
it's very easy.
Keep going, Paul.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, like, when you have a thought, it's very easy for you to just be like, oh, we'll do this and everything will be great. And it sounds great when it's very abstract and kind of, there are no details on it. Like if someone says like, oh, I'm gonna travel around the world, or one day I'm gonna write a book, it's very easy. But then when you have to actually sit down and type out like the first page, or when you have to choose exactly where you're going to go or how you're going to like pay your rent when you're not there, you have to like, it ends up being awful. So that's basically Ethereum's just a version of that. It's that guy who says that he's going to travel around the world and then doesn't really plan it out, and then he's trapped with no money.
What's funny is that sounds like all politics, because all politics, it's really good as a soundbite, but if you try to write a law around it, it's awful.
It's like, I was thinking, I've seen this so many times with like IT systems and stuff that like what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's very, very simple. When you put it on a PowerPoint presentation, but then when you actually go to code it, it doesn't quite work out.
So, Paul, there was a meetup a couple days ago that I went to, and it was a lunch meetup where you get like a fancy steak dinner or chicken or whatever. And you had to pay $50. I think I saw.
Did you post about it in a Telegram in like the dojo or something?
Yeah. But essentially, you had to pay $50 to get in. So I didn't want to like advertise it too heavy because I don't like believe people like paying for like that kind of content. Like as far as like going to like a meetup, I don't know. I like to run my meetups free, so I was like a little salty. Like, should I be charging? Like, damn, I'm probably giving up so much money. So I was like kind of like. If
dude, we have to bribe them with beer and pizza every week.
I know. I mean and so I went to this event, and it was a very like everyone was wearing a suit, pretty much. I would say like 60 to 70% of everyone was wearing a suit, and then other people were like business casual. No one was wearing a t-shirt.
Well, that's what fun.
Did you wear a t-shirt?
I was told to wear business casual, so
Yeah.
I wore business casual.
What I found so funny about the Atlanta blockchain when Tidwell started it is like the old group, the Bitcoin group, it was like you would never see a suit there. The second the word blockchain came in, out came the suits. They were everywhere.
Yeah, and the Atlanta Fed people.
Yeah, it was pretty... Go. So keep going. You were
All
talking
right,
about
so
the meetup group.
so
you were in?
Jack Shaw gives the presentation, and he is one of the top 25 speakers in the world right now, apparently, or he was named like
According
top
to-
25. I don't know, whatever society.
Okay.
And he
Not
you know,
important. Moving on.
He's president of the executive blockchain group or something. I kind of forget. The executives of blockchain. We'll just say that. Anyways, he gives a talk about smart contracts, Bitcoin or blockchain, and how secure it is, and how everything's going to be done with like smart contracts and blockchain, and how like no one believed him in the early 90s on everything that would be used for the internet. And just watch, because like 5 to 10 years from now, everything will be on smart contracts and blockchains and stuff. And he's like saying, mark my words, pretty much. I don't know if he said that exactly, but you get the idea. So after I've heard this talk before, and I was kind of working whatever on the side. I went to the bar, worked on the side. Anyways, I talked to some people afterwards. There was a guy there that was apparently a Ethereum developer. So
In
like
Atlanta?
So like he has like his own company, like consults like Solidity and stuff like that. And like someone introduced me to him, says, "This guy's really smart. You should talk to him." I'm like, "Okay." And I started talking to him, and the first thing I said to him, "I'm not a big fan of Ethereum or smart contracts."
And what did he say?
I got a crowd around me. Like I started getting a crowd around me, and I said, "Let's talk about use cases." And like very quickly, like he wasn't this great Ethereum Solidity developer anymore. But I will say one thing: he was very humble, and he was very nice. But the funny thing is, like I said, the one thing I can think of is smart contracts for ransomware. He's like, "See?" I'm like, "Dude, like, come on."
Great.
I want to hear something
It's
like
not
on
an
the up and up.
earth-shattering
Yeah.
application. That's not a boon to mankind. There.
Yeah. Anyways, another person I met there put $40,000 into OneCoin.
Oh my god.
And I was, like his brother put like $10,000 into OneCoin.
See,
and
that shit makes me so sad.
And then me and this one guy are saying that OneCoin is a scam. Another thing that's funny is,
does he still believe in it?
No, I don't think so. But this one guy is like saying, "Dude, I don't know if this is true." I said he could be on our podcast if this is true. He's making a blockchain that's a fork off of Bitcoin called OneCoin, and he's going to try to get listed on Poloniex. And I said, "Dude, if you can get that, we'll interview you about it."
Yeah, he's not going to get that.
So
like as a joke?
Yeah, as a joke. No, as a
what is
complete
the awareness level?
as a complete joke. He says he's sick and tired of people saying they have OneCoin but aren't actually able to hold it. So he's actually going to make something called a OneCoin and tell people,
well,
like,
that's an interesting scam.
Yeah, I mean, and then I said, "You realize you actually might scam a lot of people?" He's like, "All right."
Dude, well, nobody will.
No, I mean, I
no
would be
exchange
more
will list that ever.
No, he said he's working with like some, not like Poloniex. It's like these other like crazy exchanges that list just any horse shit.
That's a scam.
No,
my god, that's so funny. That used to be Poloniex. Used to be the crazy exchange.
No. Now Poloniex Poloniex is like has standards. Yeah.
No, I remember when BTCE was the sketchiest thing ever.
No, BTCE is very like they only list like Feathercoin.
Well, no, I mean, but just based on where they were located, they were like the sketchiest thing for years, and it's like everybody who puts money in that. No, it's one of the satellite states.
Okay,
but yeah, everybody always said don't trust BCE, and they were the first ones with the troll box. But like they're the only ones. They outlasted Gox, for Christ's sakes.
Have they been hacked?
I don't think so. Not that I've ever seen.
I mean, Cripsy's been hacked.
Oh, yeah. No, BTCE was like
hacked.
an old school Bitcoin exchange, which is kind of hilarious because it was always a dark horse.
So here's another interesting person I met. So I was talking to this one woman about her use case for blockchain and real estate and blockchain. Everyone apparently right now wants to do real estate and blockchain.
And healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So this woman paid this guy to fork Bitcoin and configure it so she could have her own blockchain.
Okay.
And I said, why?
She succeeded.
I said, why do you need that?
So she can have a blockchain.
And then she says, for security.
Yeah, for security.
And I said, you can use pretty much a private database with SSL communication, and you're going to get
here's my question.
security.
Is she SHA-256?
No. Here's the other funny part. Is she
merge mining?
No. Listen, she wanted all of her information to be public so you could hold people accountable. I was like, well, if you're already going to have everything public, you don't even care about if people hack your database, because all they're going to do is steal your database, and they're going to help you spread the information.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what? And I was like, it's like, think about Twitter. think about Twitter. You can see all these tweets, and everything's public, and Twitter's not going to just go in and delete your tweets arbitrarily. So you can have you can have a public transparency. You can have all this stuff without having a blockchain.
So let me flash back a little
She's
bit.
got her own blockchain.
Briefly to the Carol Van Cleef. It was funny because we did that.
Can I say one more thing about that?
Okay, go ahead.
I was while I was like I wasn't like really like lecturing her about it, but I was like saying, look, you really don't need a blockchain and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the guy she paid as a developer to fork this blockchain is standing right next to us.
Well, I mean,
so funny. When did you find that out?
Dude, after I was already 5 minutes in on why there's just so much hype around this blockchain. There's not really a lot of use cases for the private implementations, and
if he's a developer and somebody offers him money to do a development job, it's and that's what they want to spec.
Dude, I'm just saying it was funny.
I don't,
funny.
that's not horribly unethical, but
no, it was just funny.
He did what she wanted.
I was literally telling her she doesn't need a blockchain, and she just spent this money on a blockchain. Here's the developer.
I'm sure the guy probably agreed with you, but he wasn't going to talk her out of it. So he's like, "Okay, I'll do it for you." So he's like, she looks at him and he shrugs. He's like,
"Yeah." And so
yeah, actually, I wanted to do like a funny parody thing where it's because what you're talking about, what everyone's doing, healthcare or whatever. I wanted to do a fun parody interview where I am or some Vitalik character or something, and people ask me about my project, and they just say "Oh, what can it be used for?" And I can say, "Well, everything really: healthcare, black, white,
colors
and falsehood, love,
quantum tunneling,
AI, IoT,
nothing it can't do." And I'd build it all up, and just be well, smart contracts, turn complete, payments,
dude,
banking,
tell me about it. People throw around the world
healthcare,
the word smart
military,
contracts
whatever.
Crazy.
Supply chain, and just see how long it goes before people just realize that I'm literally just saying every single thing in the universe.
So you would need an audience for that, and you would have to do it over time. So and it would have to just start out coherent, and then start just ends up being a stream of buzzwords at the end. And you just see how long you can go.
Absolutely.
You're going to need notes, man. You're going to need a list.
I would try to take a William Bugayar thing and just start it off on that path, and then a Vitalik thing, and just start it off on that path, and then just keep going and then I think I would literally try to eventually, where would that end? I think it has to end true, false, philosophy, and then multiverse, and then what do you say? If the audience isn't still laughing by then,
so
what do you say?
So
figure out how do I close it out if the audience doesn't get the joke? And I don't know. That's as far as it can go. I just start saying about everything really, everything and nothing.
Yeah.
With your little
see, the question is, where would you stop, right? Where do you draw the line? Do you start saying people volcanoes? It's just
right. That's what I mean. I wouldn't stop until people were laughing, but I don't know. I really think people would sit there and just take it the whole time. So it'd have to get ridiculous at some point.
Well,
but I don't want it to be weird words like volcanoes. I want it to be. I want them to notice that I'm just drowning it out in total abstraction. That this doesn't mean anything.
But
so that's why I wanted to go to philosophy,
they never
and
would.
Truth, and multiverse.
Paul,
I don't know if the audience doesn't laugh at that. I don't know what to do other than just take $100 million of the money.
And that's how Paul got rich.
It's I tried my very best, and they were determined to give it to me. I tried everything I could think of, and they gave it to me anyway. I tried literally every possible thing I could think of to stop it from happening.
I mean, have you ever heard the I forget garlic parody of What is Bitcoin?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Paul? Where he's like
Maybe
Bitcoin,
Oh yeah,
Candy Crush, and ampersand.
I saw that one. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I've got to watch that. I like the John Cleese. Have you seen the John Cleese one?
I don't
At
know
the
that
end?
one.
That one's so funny. Transmorgifies, blah, 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 heterogeneity and over the flux heat thing.
Garlic.
And then he says, in other words, don't eat them.
Yeah,
Garlic Jackson.
yeah. No one understands Bitcoin.
If you watch Garlic Jackson, all right, and obviously Garlic Jackson, you know he's kidding because he says such crazy stuff.
So no, but he does the same thing we were talking about. He starts off very straight laced.
I know, but what I'm saying is, Paul, if you don't do that, if you just say because smart contracts, because Turing complete, people will not understand that you're joking.
Yeah,
people will not understand.
That's what I mean.
Because that's how some of these meetups are that I feel like I attend, and it's all crazy hype buzzwords.
I know, but how don't you feel like? I mean, like how weird is that if you're talking to someone about something and they just say they have a train of thought that's cogent enough, even though it's abstract and ridiculous, and then they just say, and also we're using it for healthcare.
Yeah, I've
seen
that happen a lot.
I mean, but here's the best part. Now I just want to give you more of my money.
Well, yeah, you said the magic word.
I mean, what tool has ever been created that is this versatile? Like
the internet, Paul. The internet,
computers.
I know, but that's what we're talking about here. It's like someone built like some magical like weapons from Lord of the Rings or something, and they like have the power of life and death.
One chain to rule them all, man. That's the deal, right?
As long as it's my chain.
Yeah, we use it. Oh, we use it for we use it to make payments, and we use it for supply chain, and we use it for healthcare sometimes.
Well, I mean, we're curing cancer with it. We're curing cancer with it. It's easier to say what it doesn't do,
which is
it's not
because it cures cancer, right?
It's not needed if. No, actually, I think it's needed for everything. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what isn't a use case for Bitcoin or blockchain. No. I mean, literally, I'll tell you, we're talking about blockchaining and smart contracting your orthodontics braces. So they'll be adjusted through like a multi-sig sign-off between you and your orthodontist and shit. And I was like, I mean, dude.
It's smart brace.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's for everything, Mike.
Yeah. It's a bit much at times. It really is. There's with blockchain technology in general, because I've obviously gone over a couple times the Gartner hype cycle, but I mean we're at least as far as blockchain as a buzzword, we're not yet to the peak of that ridiculous hype before it dies down and people realize that it can't really do.
I know it's so funny. In November 2014, I wrote a post about like the limits of blockchain technology, and I put the hype cycle right at the beginning, and I said like we're at the peak, and I was like,
we are not
totally
there.
Wrong.
We are not there yet.
Missed that like completely.
Well, see, and you know what's funny?
I was like, wow, that was not right.
What's funny is the higher the price of Bitcoin and all the associated alts go, the higher that goes, the more the blockchain hype rides on it. You know what I mean? Because it'll be a long time.
Well, I think there's some wishful thinking. I agree with you completely. I think it's like people see the price of Bitcoin go up and they think, well, we can just do that. We can just recapture all that. We'll just take the technology behind them. Well, and they really don't get it. They really don't get it at all.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult to wrap your head around the limitations of blockchain technology, because the hype is, because it, in theory, it can do some pretty interesting stuff, but in practical application, it's like, well, really, there's no practical way to do that yet. I mean, and some of the stuff is theoretical use case. Like, yeah, if you can get proof of stake to work, then yeah, you could do some pretty cool stuff with that, and it wouldn't cost you a whole lot of money. But nobody's done that yet at scale to where it hasn't imploded, and so that's kind of a big if.
the Persians sent this messenger, and they said that we want you to Greece, and they said we want you to surrender. And then they said, why are we going to surrender? And they said, if we invade your country, we will kill all of you or whatever.
I love the story.
And they just sent the message back. They sent the message back, and the message back is just the word if. In quotes.
I love that. Yeah, and they left. They sailed on by. Yep.
If.
So
it's like if someone gets proof of stake work, it's like, oh, if whatever. It's like if we get time travel working.
Well, and that's the thing about proof of stake too.
Wayne chain will happen.
Even if they get proof of stake working, it will work until it does not. And then
right. Exactly. It's all this entire thing is just a big, infinitely expanding tautology, right? It's just like if we get it to work for healthcare, then it will have a healthcare application.
No, I mean, all right. So I was getting criticized by a lot of blockchain believers at this thing, and they're all saying, well, Michael, you're just talking about what is now. You're not talking about what the future will be.
Yeah, you have no vision.
Yeah. And these are like grown ass men, like 50, 40 years old, and they're like saying like, look, son. I hate being talked down to by like people that are older than me that have obviously gone through like more than me that should like probably know what they're talking about, and I'm like a little millennial cocky bastard who probably thinks they don't. I don't know what to say to that, but it's like I hate that. Dude.
No, you just spin it back. You just spin it back on them, and you just say, "Well, you guys with your superior wisdom should be able to explain to me exactly how I should use blockchain for this."
Yeah, exactly. Great. That's true. But I mean, the bigger thing is
the ad hominem is dangerous.
We're notoriously bad as a people at predicting the future. We just can't do it because where are the flying cars? You know what I mean? Where are they? Right? Because everybody was predicting that for years. You know what I mean?
I don't know. But, I mean, another thing that's cool about a technology futurist like Jack Shaw, you can't really give him too much shit because you really just you have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically predicting the future of anything is throwing shit up against the wall and seeing what stuck. It's basically what you're doing.
But I think there's a different angle to it, which is that there's this rubric of like them trying to make money, and there's two different. There's like, will the innovation work? And like Warren Buffett would always give the example of airplanes. So like air travel has been great for everyone. It's been great for the economy. You can get stuff the next day shipped quickly. You can travel easily. But air travel has been a terrible investment because it's so competitive.
Yeah.
So if you buy airline stocks, they just go to zero and then you lose all of your money. So the thing is, these people, I presume, are kind of, for their own personal edification and knowledge on one hand, but I think they also want to make some money, which is where they totally blow a fuse and just
which is what's so hilarious.
Suck at everything.
Because I always see all this. I see this people wanting to make money off the ecosystem, and they go and they open Bitcoin ATMs and they plow their money into that, and they open services.
And they make a lot of money with the ATMs too.
No, it depends. No, see that's the thing is a lot of them they don't.
I feel like everyone who's doing the ATMs that I know is making bank.
Well, some of them do and some of them don't. But the question is, how much bank would they have made if instead of operating that business and buying and selling all the time, if they just plowed the money into Bitcoin? It's
No, that's not a good comparison because
it is. It's an investment. It's ROI.
No. I'll tell you why. That's not a fair comparison.
Bitcoin.
Because they're making income versus why don't you just cash out your 401k and put it all into Bitcoin? You would have made so much more.
Well, no, but they're also expending labor.
Yeah, they have a business. They're making income.
Right.
That's more guaranteed regardless of price.
Not necessarily. Okay, so
they're making a certain percent. Say again?
Oh, maybe I see what you're saying.
No, like they have an operational income that they have a spread. It's not a fair comparison. Now, you are right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but still, they can have their own side investments in Bitcoin and still make
there's actually no contradiction between the two because it's they have operational income, but the question is the operational income they get compared to the capital they outlaid in terms of how much money it costs to create the ATM and how much labor it costs, is that return? And the answer to that is probably no, because the Bitcoin return is just so abnormally high; it just crushes everything.
So yeah, but I mean, so the whole thing is the question. It boils down to the question for these people, these blockchain people. They don't believe in the speculative value of the underlying assets. They believe that there's money to be made off of selling the technology to people. That's the difference. And they want to be the people who sell the technology to other people, not the people who actually gain value through speculative investment in these things. And that's the same mentality in the Bitcoin ecosystem of people who, instead of buying businesses and then start developing platforms, you know what I mean? Like take Eric Voorhees, because he's a developer. He develops, but obviously he's plowed a lot of money into business, but he's also like a major holder. And like arguably Roger Ver is one of the hugest, right? And Roger Ver, he just sits on a pile of Bitcoin. He doesn't make hardly any money.
All right, but just hear me out for a little bit about the Bitcoin ATM stuff. It really depends on when you bought in. Because if you bought in when Aaron bought in, of course it's better just to buy the Bitcoin. Well, but if you bought in when Brandon bought in, then it would be he probably did the right thing, because if he's charging 20% plus, then all he has to do is $10,000 with that ATM, and it's already paid for itself.
Well, see, that's the thing is, if you, because he takes it in, puts it out, takes it in, puts it out. If you miss a price movement,
no. I agree. but that's reliable income to him.
Well, right, that's reliable income. But again, that means you believe in your business. You don't believe in Bitcoin, is what it means.
Well, not necessarily, because you're helping the ecosystem completely. If you don't have enough of those people, then the price suffers.
Well, you're helping the ecosystem. What I'm saying is, on an individual level, from a profit motive themselves, they don't see the money as being in Bitcoin. They see the money as being in the service they're providing, buying and selling Bitcoin. They want dollars. They don't want Bitcoin. They want dollars.
It's not. That's not true. It's not black or white.
I'm just saying,
it's a shade of gray in the middle of that.
For me, if you do the value proposition, and you see it, you come out to one way on the ROI. Either one's going to be more profitable for you or the other.
There's no arguing that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying
but you don't know. You don't know which one's going to be more profitable until after the fact.
Well, of course, but I'm saying they bet more on the operational side of things, selling services rather than the speculative value of the
something
currency.
You might not know about some of these ATM operators is they hold a lot of their liquidity, or they hold a lot of their assets in Bitcoin, not US dollars.
Well, some of them do, and some of them
don't.
But
what I'm saying is you have that option.
Oh, I know you have the option.
So it's not so clear cut with operators. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not clear cut with operators.
You got to worry about people breaking into the ATM, taking all the cash. You got to worry about your Bitcoin being hacked. It's not like a free return. It's the same way with Bitcoin. You just make your paper wallet. You just put it far away from you, where no one will ever find it.
Hey, and then speaking,
spy your Bitcoin and stash it there.
Paul, speaking about people who have been like kind of talking down to me a little bit that are older than me, I'm doing these dance classes now. I'm learning salsa.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like learning how to dance with girls. It's awesome. But
this is why I have to move to a city so that I can like.
Well, I mean, you're coming down.
Cool things like take a dance class.
You're coming down every week. We can do it on the.
I have to move here, where I currently am in Atlanta, to live here permanently.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already coming down here every weekend, you might as well do dance classes with me. But anyways, there's a guy in my class. He was like, hey, he's like asked me like about myself, whatever. And I was talking about, hey, I'm into blockchain kind of technology. I use the word blockchain, Bitcoin, whatever. And he pretty much was going over about how I was wasting my time. It really hurt my feelings.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
I was wasting my time, and how, and then he said something interesting. The state will never allow it.
That's hilarious. And I remember that one from like 3 or 4 years ago.
No, but you know what else?
Says that anymore.
It's a good old state.
You know what else he said?
What?
The United States owns the Federal Reserve, and I said functionally you might be right, but not technically. I don't know what you.
That's a
weird
weird
thoughts
thing.
on it.
So I mean, they control the
DC Fed,
Federal Reserve, to a great extent. It doesn't own the. You're right, though. It's owned by. It has private shareholders, and it's actually part of the law that they have to.
Yeah.
Shares. Those people just get cash. The people who own the Federal Reserve. It was this thing they added a long time ago to induce people to join. We still do it today. They get some. I think it's like 6% or something. They get a 6% dividend for like no reason.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Federal Reserve, you just get like free cash forever.
Dude, hey, where do I sign up? I mean, that sounds like a pretty good
I know.
deal.
Hey, you
I
know,
mean, I should. How do you buy into the Fed? Is there a market someplace that I can
Yeah.
buy into the Fed and get a 6%
Well, it's
dividend for
privately owned, but
nothing?
yeah, probably.
your last name
I
name
don't
needs
know
to be
the answer to that
Rothschild.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to be a
Well,
Rockefeller
you
if
or
know-
Rothschild.
you can't beat them, if you can't beat them, buy them.
Well,
right?
you know who the Fed is actually owned by. I mean, it's owned by banks. That's the only way you can buy into the Fed is if you are a large enough bank.
It's you have to be
So
one of the
you
central
can
banks.
become a
Like,
bank is if you deposit.
oh well,
So
I'm thinking about primary dealers. Actually,
well, I mean, primary dealers, I'm sure, are
like
on the list.
J.P. Morgan Chase. And
Yeah, but
Barclays.
because an individual is not market traded. An individual can't
Yeah.
go in and buy shares of it, and it's silly that you can't say, oh, it's a family owned
Think about-
business. It's
no,
not
no, no.
sole proprietorship.
No, but think
for
about like
Christ's
this:
sake.
if they're a fiduciary to their stockholders, they would just have to. I mean,
They would just be printing money.
Yeah, they would just print money.
If they're a fiduciary, they would just be printing
That is
money.
funny, right? Yeah, you're right. That is funny. Well, I mean, you'd
Yeah.
have to say they'd print as much money as possible to not being caught by Congress and having their license pulled. So
Well,
that is actually a funny implication.
That's hilarious, actually.
Oh, one other thing, Paul. I want to see if you've ever heard this term because both I've asked John Seth and I asked Krista Rose this question, and both of them didn't know.
God.
This the guy from my dance class, while he was trying to explain the world to me after he told me Bitcoin is like going nowhere and I'm wasting my time with all
guy?
this stuff. He's an IT architect or something. Anyways, he was saying he says, "Let me tell you how the world works," essentially. And he was
God.
and he was talking to me about neoliberalism.
Oh wow!
Have you ever heard that term, Paul?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, wow. Do you know what it means?
Well, I mean, it's obvious. I don't know specifically what it means, but I think it means. I mean, liberalism is very clear. Like liberalism is very old. John Stuart Mill and the idea that you should it's sort of a leftist position that advocates individual human freedom and being the most important thing. Even more important than things like definitely enforcing all contracts no matter what. So like slavery is like more conservative than liberal, sort of like type of thing. But yeah, I assume neoliberalism is just like group of people who call themselves liberals today, and I'm not sure that.
So
right,
I think that's
for the
probably the left's the answer to is neocons or neoconservatives. They have a specific agenda. They're not actually conservatives or whatever. And then this would be the alt left.
So let me tell you from my research.
That's a good point because there are neocons, if I can just say, and neocons are like conservatives, but they tend to differ in a few ways. So they say like the world now that we have like air travel and nuclear weapons, we have to like invade. The neocons were like all for.
Yeah, and supply side economics, and
So they're like, but that's an old con thing, an old conservative. But
That's
the
true.
neocons are just a little different. They have a different spin on it. So they're saying that we're not totally 100% mainline conservative.
Let me
we'll
tell you
buck the
from my
trend to do a
research
couple
what I
of things.
gathered. Essentially, from my research is it describes how modern day capitalism works in America and Europe and type places. It's this form of capitalism. It just doesn't have a name, and the name is neoliberalism. That is essentially what it means. And he was trying to describe. So first he starts talking about. Oh no, I'm just. Hey, hear me out. He was describing the education system in America, the banking system, all this stuff. And he's like, you know what that's called? I'm like, it sounds like capitalism. Like the way he was like talking about it. And he was like, it's called neoliberalism. Of course I look it up and I read the article and all this stuff. It's a form.
Labels.
It's a form of capitalism. And anyways, this is like a term that apparently we might be hearing a lot more in a couple of years. Like I think it's going to start spreading. I don't know. We'll see.
The neolibs.
The neolibs, yeah. I don't. Or I mean,
don't know.
it's essentially describing
It just
our.
describes the way capitalism.
Yeah. It describes our current governance model, I guess, or economy / government.
Well, I mean,
Like
not sure anything
before I told you about it, it didn't
Like
have
a
a
mixed
name. Now it has a name, neoliberalism.
Oh, it has tons of names.
Okay, well,
I mean,
that sounds fun.
capitalism's one.
well, good
No,
luck.
no. Capitalism is too broad. This is a specific type of capitalism.
So, how old was this guy?
He was
How many years
probably
old?
50. I don't know, 45.
Okay, so he's like 45, and he's taking a dance class. So, like, what's the deal? Why is he talking to you at all?
He's
You're like the only two
dude,
guys there.
Why does anyone go to a dance class? It's because they're lonely or they're trying to pick up chicks.
Or both. 'Cause that's-
Thomas is laughing. Thomas, why do you go to dance class? All right. Anyways, all right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Alphabet.
Alphabet.
So, is it finally down? It's finally down.
No,
right?
yeah, no,
It
it was rated. It was like severely, and I
City
remember.
domain.
So Jeff Sessions said actually that this was a priority for Donald Trump was to direct the DOJ to coordinate to take down Alphabet. So that's interesting.
Well, success has many fathers, you know.
Yes,
like
that's
if
true.
anything
That's
goes
true.
well, then everyone takes credit for it.
Right.
So.
So yeah, but another thing I thought was interesting. There was Ricardo Fluffy Pony Spani. He said the Monero guy. He said it was interesting because the cops have no idea. Monero's so private; they have no idea how much Monero they actually confiscated from the guy. They don't know. They can't tell.
They own it though.
They have it. They have control of it, but I mean it's encrypted, and they can't. Not only can they not move it,
That's funny.
they can't even tell how much it is.
Richard
But
Porter.
they said
just
like they
emailed
know
me.
exactly how much Zcash they have. That was funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
man, earlier that was hilarious how you were talking about the sport. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. All right. So one thing.
Defeat. Okay, it was not funny at all. Our team was really demoralized.
Hey, just be happy you're still on the field, and you did great. You did great.
Well, see, that's one of the interesting things about Zcash versus Monero is, Zcash is optionally private, but it's default transparent. So unless you do the funky, Zcash snark encryption transaction, whatever, then it's just like a regular old visible transaction. And Dash is the same way, but like Monero, everything's like default. So it's very, very kind of opaque by default. It's interesting.
All right. So one thing that was interesting that Paul was talking about was we wouldn't have to worry about this domain name issue if we're using Namecoin or Namecoin technology. Paul, can you talk about that?
Is Namecoin still
so people
around?
use Onion.
Oh my god!
Wait, real quick. Let me tell you what I've learned about Tor because I don't really use Tor that much except when I was experimenting with it in college and stuff, like just like checking it out.
Yeah, it's a euphemism.
I experimented with something else.
But essentially, so the URLs the URLs equivalent, the domains in Tor are created from private keys. So you can't really make a fully defined domain. You can get a Vandy address like the first couple of letters, right? But just like a Bitcoin address.
After that, it's like programmatic.
Yeah. Okay, so keep going, Paul. I just want to give a background to the noobs like me.
Exactly, that's the deal. So then the domains are these weird things, and we have to rely on the registrars and this weird system in place.
Very, very centralized.
All this other stuff, and to map the names to basically your IP address to simplify. And so like a lot of probably everyone listening to this knows this already. But a lot of lay people who don't know anything about tech, which is that you don't have to actually type google.com into the bar, the bar at the top that is now a search bar everywhere, but what used to just be the address bar. You can type in the actual IP address and everything will still work exactly the same. You can type in these numbers, whatever, colon, whatever. And you can, and then you can get to Google. You can get to any website like that. But people knew that would be confusing and ridiculous, so they had this name thing on top of it.
DNS.
I can think of one exception to that. If it's only HTTPS or only HTTP, then you would have to specify the protocol. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So the thing is, what happens is the Fed seizes the domain often, and they'll say that it could be helpful if you would be able to own the domain and there would be no way to redirect to anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, I think they just took all the files anyway, so they wouldn't really, they'd seize the domain name and everything. So I'm not sure.
That's true. If you get the physical equipment that stores it, you pretty much have
all the stuff.
Yeah.
But not really. I mean, because you could then point the domain somewhere else. But I mean, in this scenario, they've seized all the physical equipment, and you're in jail, and there's like nothing you can do. So I mean,
So
like,
hold on, that actually begs a really interesting question, because what if you like open sourced or you know what I mean, like the Junseth Open Identity Project, that, or what was it, where
Decentralized
identity.
Yeah.
So where you just like, you know, you publicly give out the keys,
the private key.
it's just like, and then like, so anybody could just like at any point in time they can redirect. Like, I don't know, how would you do, like with a multi-sig something with, I don't know. If you had,
It would be a federation of Junseths.
You would do a vote.
It'd be a federation of Junseths.
You would do a vote. If 51%.
I actually I wrote a design for an identity sidechain that I think is pretty cool, which would improve on Namecoin a little bit. And one of the improvements I wanted to make was kind of like, you can control, you map like your name or whatever it is, you map it to all this stuff, like an onion address, a Bitcoin stealth address that's reusable, like an onion domain, things like your email address and the PGP key and everything like that. So you map it to all this stuff. But in addition to that, what you can do is, if somehow you lose the key, you set it up at first so you have a bunch of friends, and your friends can like reset your password for you. So you pick like a good mix of people, like friends and family, people who actually know your real identity. And so if Junseth gave all of his trusted friends the ability to do the changejunseth.com, and then the federal agents seized all of his computing equipment, at least his friends could like redirect junseth.com slowly. They could like repoint it at like, you know, this page as a memorial to, you know, Joshua Unseth or whatever, you know, behind bars or something. You could get the domain back. I'm not sure which constellation that would be, but just on truthcoin.info if you care about why I did any of that, or how I think it could be useful for anything.
Paul, I can't wait till drive chains. I've publicly said now that I think that drive chains are the scaling future of Bitcoin.
Well, you know, just sidechains.
Oh, that's nice.
The polymorphism that it adds, the ability to, you know, really it would potentially suck everything back into Bitcoin.
Oh, can we? Hey, we're going to wrap it up kind of soon.
I think it would make Bitcoin very fun again.
Yeah,
so
I'm
looking
looking forward to that.
It would get me excited about Bitcoin, like back to like 2013 levels.
See, now it would be getting back to cool shit again, not just let's
argue
argue for another year.
Because in 2013,
try a project and it would have like a future of like actually making it into something that would be useful.
Or it
and people would
fails
only
and
try
nobody
projects
cares.
that would actually make it as a sidechain, so they wouldn't try these stupid projects. Sorry, I can't hear what you guys are saying sometimes.
No, you're good. Yeah, we weren't saying anything. No, but
okay,
hey, let's wrap it up soonish because we're going on 2 hours ish.
Yes.
But real quick, Josh Garza got 20 years, or is threatened to get 20 years.
So yeah, he
why? GAW
Gaw
minor.
You don't remember this?
No.
Oh wow.
I was too young.
Okay, yeah, no. I remember this very vividly. Gaw miners and Paycoin. So he ran Gaw Miners, which was his own mining operation, and he also pumped Paycoin. It was ridiculous. He guaranteed a $20 floor on Paycoin before his ICO, before that was even a term. But before he launched Paycoin, he was pumping on his forums. He got everybody all jazzed up about it. And anybody who was looking at it from the outside, anybody who had been in Bitcoin for a while, looks at this and is like, it's an obvious scam. You can't guarantee a floor on a coin. You can't. It's a market. Right,
unless you limit the supply and you have that much money to back it up.
Well, no. I mean, like literally,
that's the only way, right?
Well, no,
you can literally buy every single coin for $20.
Well, yeah, but that's not what he was doing.
It's the only yes.
So
I mean,
that
would
is
be one
not
way.
what he was. Well, I mean, then you can't really issue them at large like he was planning on doing. So
no, it's impossible to do that and make more money at the same time.
So what he was running Gaw Miner, which at the time actually was a cloud mining. Remember cloud mining at all?
Yeah, but
cloud mining's a scam. You know, plain and simple. That's the short version of that.
Okay.
Is cloud mining's a scam because really.
But Mo Levin had cloud mining.
Yeah,
they had a cloud mining booth, and Mo Levin doesn't allow scams at TNABC.
Mo Levin allowed Paycoin, which was Josh Garza's thing. It became Paycoin Con that year. I wasn't there, but I saw lots of pictures, and yeah. Paycoin was all over the place. So there's two big things. One, they were running a Ponzi on the Ga miner service because they were offering cloud mining. And what cloud mining is you pay in and you do a contract for hash rate. And then they pay you back out the hash rate. Well, there doesn't have to be any hash rate. They can just operate it just like a Ponzi, right? So they don't actually have to go out and buy servers. They just take in money and pay it back out, right? So, and even if they don't do it, it's kind of a scam anyway, because what they do is, since mining rates on whatever grows pretty much exponentially, what you do is you give them a specified hash rate, and then you give them, and you say, oh yeah, we'll hash this, give you this hash rate forever for this low price. And it ends up being worthless relatively quickly because it becomes nothing compared to the total hash pool. But the big
I think another thing is the luck. Huh? The luck is like, they say it's like paying someone to go to the casino and buy a bunch of lottery tickets for you.
Basically.
And then come back if you win. And it's like, if they win, they don't come back.
Well,
they don't come back to you. They just
that's not even what he's in trouble for. He's in trouble for Paycoin. And he's in trouble because he said he gave a guarantee. It was like a written guarantee that there would be a $20 price floor. And then when it dropped below $20, his company took no action to try to bring it back up to, they didn't even try. They didn't even buy, they had no strategic reserve or nothing. They didn't even make an attempt, and it just plummeted to the ground, and everybody lost all of their money. And it was kind of funny, but kind of sad.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so
he was hoping just the community would
I don't know what he was planning on doing,
and
honestly.
Keep a $20
but
floor.
I mean, it was straight up fraud. It was straight up fraud because he made a fraudulent promise that his company would, absolutely keep that
Tether
floor.
figured out how to do it at $1. They need to do it at. They don't
promise it. That's how they do it. Is they explicitly don't promise anything. So yeah, but that's what happened with Josh Garza, and now he's facing up to 20 years for it because he defrauded probably hundreds of thousands of people.
I got two more quick topics. One is very quick. There's this guy named DPR that's been showing his
Pirate
head.
Roberts.
Well, yeah, right.
Yes.
Like I don't really think he's the real Ross, but obviously it's hilarious because he keeps saying
in jail.
No. The funny thing is he was saying like he snuck in a phone to right, like he snuck in a phone into jail, and like he's acting like
because
he's
they
like
Wi-Fi
Ross.
there.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was talking to him and I said, "Hey, let me give you a shout out," because he was helping me understand some things, and he's like, "Well, some people call me Ross." So whoever you are, if you're listening, shout out. He was actually telling me about some interesting stuff. So apparently, if you had Bitcoin like from previous date, like 6 months ago or something, you have Stellar Lumens, BTX, and Byteball. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of Stellar Lumens.
Oh yeah,
I haven't heard of the others.
So apparently, if you're willing to give up your identity, if you're willing to give up your identity, you can make like money right now by like buying.
Yes, I'm a massive Bitcoin holder.
Yeah, if you literally have like 10,000 Bitcoin, you could make like probably $30,000 right now.
Yeah,
or $40,000 worth of these like altcoins that use the UTXO set from Bitcoin. But I'm guessing you have to like register with their website and then give up your identity to them, which is like real sketchy.
I mean, it's not only that. You're not even having to give up your personal information. It's just it creates. They're probably using it for data mining purposes on the Bitcoin blockchain to notice what accounts are related. So they don't have to have your actual information.
So what do you think about that? Do you have a certain price where you'd be willing to do that? Like if, for instance, if you're able to double your value in Bitcoins, obviously you'd probably do it. But
I don't know.
Paul, do you have any thoughts on that? Have you been tempted by any of these projects?
Well, I know that. So like people would give away. They try to strategically give away stuff to people who are old Bitcoiners, or like they used to give, like Ripple gave away a bunch of stuff on Bitcoin Talk, and Factom sent little tiny amounts of Bitcoin to people to large accounts that had like Factom.
I mean, that's how they did. That's how they did Pepe Cash.
Yeah.
To XCP holders, that's how they did Pepe Cash. That's how they did issued that originally. Really? Yeah, that's how Junseth got his Pepe Cash.
Well, there you go.
They gave it out to the original XCP holders or whatever.
Yeah, this happens a lot.
So I don't know. It's all part of giving people skin in the game, but in a weird or very weird way.
Yeah, but are you tempted into? Let's say, Paul. Let's say you have 50 Bitcoin. I have no idea.
Are you going to dig Bitcoin out of cold storage to just put it at to do this. I mean,
no, I don't think. Do I need? I think maybe. Do I need the same private key or something?
I mean, you can.
You have to sign a message.
You have to sign a message with your private key.
Well, here's one thing. Well, if you look at it this way, so
you could do it offline.
If you're practicing proper security against a quantum attack in the future, you're never going to sign any message from an address you still hold Bitcoin in.
I mean, you can change the address afterwards, but the real question is, are you willing to give up your identity? Let's say you're able to do it securely. Let's say that this has no security
no, I would
risk.
say, and I agree with you that I would not do it. I would just be like, never offer a sucker an even break. Like, don't know what the angle is. Just be like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah,
I'd say walk away.
Well, and they may be doing that. I mean, because the motivation may be just like you're saying, skin in the game of people who do that. So people who are obviously have some money
are going
get
to pump
more.
it.
Yeah, they want to pump it. Oh yeah,
it's a
I have
self-fulfilling
Stellar
pump.
now. I'm Stellar's awesome.
Self-fulfilling pump prophecy.
I don't know, but I mean, for me, it's just why would you want to get into that? It doesn't it doesn't make any. Here's my question. Does it ever expire, or can you always redeem it?
No. It expires like in a couple of weeks.
Okay, well then I don't care.
Okay. No. This opportunity to get free Stellar or whatever.
I don't care.
Yes.
expires.
Yeah, if it were always going to be around, then I say, hey, good.
All right.
I'll look at it in a couple of years.
All right. So last topic I want to talk about, and then whoever else wants to talk about whatever, is John Seth's World. He's been putting out a lot of content on his John Seth's World podcast with Dante and Sean.
I haven't seen the latest episode.
He put out like 3 episodes, and they're all like 3 hours each, except the last one was 6 hours. He put
I
out
haven't seen
marathon.
So apparently John Seth went to London or something, and he was like up
I heard
all
that.
night with these guys from London. I couldn't freaking believe it. But anyways, so I'm listening to this stuff while I work, and it's easy to listen to, right? And so near the end of their 6-hour podcast, they said, okay, honestly, if you listen this long, you deserve something. So they're like, we're gonna pull together. And they were like saying, "Oh, I'll put in 5 pounds. Oh, I'll put in 5 pounds." No, dude. I've already tweeted about this. It was hilarious. No, screw it. I mean, I have a competing podcast. I don't want them to listen to John Seth's World. We are podcasts are war. All right, I'm just kidding.
I haven't watched it yet. I will watch the
without giving away too much detail. It was very funny. If I wouldn't recommend. Listening to it all at once. I broke it up into like 4 days or something, but he's doing some really funny stuff.
Those guys are crazy.
One thing.
His show is pretty cool. I like his show. I don't like the fact that none of them really know anything at all about anything.
No,
but other than that, it's a very funny show.
It's funny. Entertainment value, right?
Dude, I feel stupider after listening to it, but it's like
Joseph has that effect.
Yeah, I feel very stupid after listening.
They're clever and they're smart. They have like a cool perspective on things.
Yeah.
Another cool thing is Sean on their show is really into investing into the ICOs, like get in, get out kind of stuff. Hey, dude, don't dox them, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't.
You didn't hear that?
Edit it out.
No, this is on. I don't know. It's so hard to edit these.
All right, whatever. Well,
all right. So, anyways, it's hilarious because they're going over a lot of stuff that I have no idea. I don't have time to research, so I really appreciate them digging into these ICO projects. It's very interesting. Anyways, that's all I had.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, I'm good. I think we're done
time
here.
for Catan. I think Miguel's coming over for Catan, so we're good. All right, Paul. Any final remarks?
I can't believe you pronounce it Catan. That's not how my friends pronounce it.
How's it pronounced? What's the proper?
Catan.
We say Catan.
No. So let me tell you why I call it Catan. It's not because I'm from the South. It's because the national Catan tournament of the year, whatever. All the announcers call it Catan. That's the only reason I call it that way. Before that, we're all calling it Catan too. I actually think the proper pronunciation is Catan.
I don't know.
No, it's actually Caton.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul, we're let's do a sign out on Paul before we do the normal sign out. Paul, where can people find out more information about you?
Yeah, just go to my blog at truthcoin.info. Don't go anywhere else. I mean, you can find me on Twitter at truthcoin.
Mike? What about you? We should all do that.
On Twitter, I'm the Black Marble, and yeah, I guess that's about it.
I'm Mike21, and you probably have no idea how to spell that. Good luck finding me. And with that, I think the nonce has been found.
And I don't even know. I got nothing.
No, come on. The nonce has been
Our
found.
blocks are dumber for having seen this.
All right, and Paul, what's the last one?
The difficulty has adjusted.
The difficulty has adjusted.
All right.
Thanks for propagating.
Bye, everybody.